Hi, this is Will Stewart from OnlineChessLessons.net, and I will be continuing my coverage today of the Amber 2011 Super Tournament. I will be looking at a round 3 blindfold game between Vassily Ivanchuk and Hikaru Nakamura. And so the game is blindfold, so it's pretty crazy. So to begin, Ivanchuk e45. Pretty standard stuff, and trying to take matters into a Roy Lopez, an Italian game. Ivanchuk pretty much plays anything, and blindfold is pretty much anything goes, no holds barred. So d3, we kind of variate from the main lines of the Spanish game. And c3, definitely some variations. I don't know how popular this line is, but sure, solid enough, certainly. Nakamura playing very aggressively, and it looks like Ivanchuk is trying to take things a little bit slower, maybe a little slow maneuvering, typical of the Spanish. Pawn to h3, move the rook over, maybe try to get a knight to f5 later, something along those lines. But Nakamura he deviates pretty early here with h6 and quickly g5. So you typically don't see moves like this with the top players, but again in blindfold, trying to mess up the opponent any way possible. Knight h5. So already Black's got a pretty good position. Definitely very aggressive, and I'm sure Nakamura was pretty happy with this out of the opening. Does have a big weakness at f5. It'd be nice if White could throw a knight there right away, but Black's already getting a knight into f4. So Black kind of getting the upper hand with the initiative here and the aggression. And just a quick point, it's been a difficult thing for me throughout the years as well, trying to seize the initiative in the opening and being aggressive as possible and trying to force your opponent and put pressure on him from the first move. But obviously, that's the best way to play. Gary Kasparov did the best in his time, so there's no question, putting pressure on throughout the entire game. Undoubtedly the best. So knight f4, Black is getting a nice initiative. These pawns are definitely making a little progress, and b4 is kind of somewhat of a concession by White, a positional concession. Now, this pawn is more of a weakness than anything, and it'll certainly be exploited. So now, White has achieved, and kind of trading off one of Black's better pieces was definitely exerting some pressure, but at the cost of opening the Black rook along the a file is definitely solid for Black. This pawn is going to be a weakness, and we're starting to see that White is making some positional concessions. Now, this is a blindfold game, so maybe not the harshest criticism here. It's these players could definitely beat most of the people in the world blindfolded, but continuing on. So f3, and now we're really starting to see a couple of weak squares opening up in White's camp, and these dark square pawn advance really serves to highlight that. And so a4, this pressure along the a file was just going to be a little bit too much for White, so he tried to somewhat relieve it, and this looks aggressive. But again, this pawn is always a source of weakness, and as well as this pawn. This can't go anywhere. So the real initiative on the queen side for White trying to make space is simply not happening. And now a good move by Nakamura. He keeps this rook. A lot of players here would play something like this, because it's a natural move. Put the rooks in the center, and they are, this is okay, but that's going to let White actually turn this weakness, maybe not in so much of an advantage, but now with the threat of a6, and this is weakened here. So a good attentive move by Nakamura here, moving the rook to a better square, and also, more importantly, this pin is now gone. So this knight is free to reposition into the king side and reinforce the attack over there. So rook e1, this was not a very good move as far as I can tell. It makes sense intuitively by Ivanchuk in that he's getting attacked on the king side, so put some more pieces over there and try to support it. But this is just going to show it gets a little cramped. So knight e7 makes sense with the preceding rook move and trying to clear space and just kind of concentrate all of the pieces on the king side for black. So solid play by Nakamura. Again, it's blindfold, so this is crazy. It's pretty crazy people can play this well without the board in front of them. So bishop f2, it makes sense, trying to anticipate the opponent's pawn advance and reposition the bishop. And so white is, you want to achieve some kind of play in your position. And so black has obviously gained the advantage with the space on the king side. White needs to create some kind of counterplay. Otherwise, black is just all day, maybe he's going to just move his king up, put the rooks over here, and really be able to take his time with the attack. So as white, you really want to create something, at least a diversion, if not a real threat. And so the queen side is obviously where white's going to have some kind of counterplay. So bishop f2 makes sense. Go ahead and get it out of the way. So Nakamura continues with h4 anyway. Logical move. And bishop e3. So this move makes sense. I mean, it's getting very crowded for white around his king. No thanks to this rook move, and it's getting a little uncomfortable. So as the defending side, you want to be able to exchange pieces to attempt to neutralize your opponent's attacking potential. so pretty much you want to get rid of his pieces that are attacking you. He's going to have less to throw at you. And h3 by Nakamura. So another strong move. I mean, this guy is relentless. If he smells a hint of an initiative, he just goes for the throat. And that's what makes him top 10 in the world, I guess. So h3, no hesitation. A calmer plan, yes. The whole king g7 and slide the rooks over. Yeah, that's okay. Maybe trying to put double the rooks here, but it doesn't really work. So h3 is definitely the best move. And g3 by white, yeah, I mean anything else is going to really open his position up. Let's say something here. Black is just gonna have a field day on this one. I mean, maybe something like this, but yeah, I mean this is way too open on his king, and he just doesn't have any counterplay. There's nothing going on the queen side. So to go back, g3, probably the best, most practical continuation. And here white is really tough. So rook e2 is the best move, and it seems like black is almost winning in all of these lines. I found a few lines where maybe he's got a slight way out, and it's just a very simple move. I guess Nakamura probably had in mind the whole time when he started pushing that pawn down, and maybe Ivanchuk was trying to get out the way by moving the bishop, but a little too late. So c6, and the move bishop c4 just simply refuted a simple tactical shot. If queen takes, this is easy enough. I think black just won a piece, and rook takes, just call it a day. He's up a couple pieces or something, probably more than enough. So bishop d3, and it looks like maybe that's going to be a little weakness, b6, but simply b5, Nakamura's plan. And so here, let's take stock in this position. White doesn't really have any counterplay unless black is making a weakness of himself over here, but he's using those as dynamic pawns. They're not sitting ducks. So black forced that, so that's probably not going to be a weakness, just common sense. Black also has this knight on g2, and maybe you can think this knight is going to be a potential weakness later if you can't do anything with it, and white can somehow manage to consolidate and try to trap it. That's not even going to happen, and if something were to happen, black could always sacrifice the knight on f4 and most likely achieve sufficient counterplay. So the move b5. To evaluate it simply, starting with a tree of variations, if you will, to identify your candidate moves. What are the candidate moves for white? Well, white, the first move that comes to mind, pawn takes, right? Black just gave you a pawn. Well, not exactly. This actually loses on the spot. Rook a2. So now we're starting to see these pieces are looking a little loose in the center. Nimzovich, classic theory of overprotection. I guess that didn't quite quite work in this game. So rook a2 just simply wins because black is got way too much pressure in this position. White's got to continue protecting the bishop, and that allows a simple just overload combo, and there's no White's going to lose the house here. I mean, this is just pack it up.